Hello there. 91.7 WLFR Pomona. We are here welcoming guest Ghoul Talk to the show here on Strange Ways Radio. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. And thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Her, we have your new EP, Magician, that we've been playing here at WLFR. Have been a good time with it. Okay, I enjoy it myself a lot. Very good.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It was my my first release, so I didn't know how people were going to like it, and the support has been really nice.
Very good. Very good. Okay, so right off the bat, I know you mentioned it on your webpage and all, but just for our listeners right now, can you tell us who is Ghoul Talk?
Ghoul Talk is just me. My name is Rachel King, and yeah, it started with the intention of definitely being a full band project, but I ended up really taking to the production side and ended up making it kind of a solo thing. So it's just me for now. I worked with Marshall Gallagher on this EP. He helped me produce it. And so it's just kind of been the two of us so far making the music, as well as I've had some help with some session musicians here from Seattle, helping with some drums and some guitar for a few tracks.
Very good, very good. And obvious from the name, you're a horror fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, and I get the reference. I'm a Ghoul Talk, girl talk thing going on. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm definitely like a horror fan, a little bit of a spooky person, but the album is a reference to Girl Talk, which is my favorite Kate Nash album, actually.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of an homage to her.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, so I was just checking out your new video there for the Migraine Headache. Hey, yeah, very cool having the skeleton puppet there. Pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I stumbled across somebody who actually specialized in skeleton puppetry videos, so I got lucky there. He was definitely a huge part of making that happen.
Nice, nice. Okay, so okay, back to your new new album though. Okay. Are there other musicians on there that you'd like to shout out? Is it a all or what that is?
Yeah, well, definitely Marshall Gallagher. He's in a band called Teenage Wrist that is really awesome. So if anybody likes the sound of Magician, you would definitely like his band and should check them out. I also want to give a shout out to Heather Thomas, who played drums on Migraine Headache. Emily Harris, who helped a lot with the guitar there. She's in a band called Sunday Crush. And then Nicole Swims, who is in a band called Black Ends, also came in and did some guitar and really added a lot to the song. So definitely appreciate their collaboration. They inspired me in a lot of ways.
Great, great. Okay. Okay. Tell us a little bit about the songwriting. How did this all come about?
Yeah, so I started Magician just really wanting to put out any music at all. I had been working a long time to learn the production side of it, and it was just really challenging to me. It was something that didn't necessarily come naturally. So the songwriting was the easiest part. I just had a bunch of different songs to choose from that I had kind of written, and then as I started to produce all of them, these were the three that ended up seeming like they fit the vibe that I was going for and the sound that I'm trying to develop. And what's interesting is I moved to Seattle 3 years ago, and I feel like all three of the songs kind of represent one of those years that I've been here. So like Migraine Headache was the first year that I was here, and I was struggling a lot with chronic pain and chronic migraines. And then Materialize is kind of all about trying to make the music and the production happen. And that was what was a huge focus for me the second year that I was here. And then Sleeper is kind of the last year, which pandemic and the craziness of 2020. So I feel like that represents a lot of kind of the reflection that I was dealing with just in isolation of quarantine. So I feel like it all came together as it should, even though it all kind of just came together. I don't want to say it was an accident, but it wasn't as planned out as what I'm doing next. It just kind of came together, and I'm happy with how it turned out. So
very good, very good. I know this past year has been crazy for everyone. All right. Hey, any plans on getting back out there? Are you going to play live and all, or what?
Yeah. So I did do some live shows like here and there, but it was pretty much solo stuff. So definitely when I get back out there, I want it to be full band, really high energy concert experiences. But right now, my main focus is just continuing to produce as much music as I can. So I'm working on another project and another release that is hopefully going to come out this year. And then after that, I'm really going to hit the live scene hard and hopefully do that for a little bit of time and maybe get to tour a little bit. That would be awesome. That's the dream. So
that is great. That is great. Okay. Hey, you mentioned only being in Seattle for 3 years. If you don't mind my asking, where are you from originally?
I'm from Arizona.
Ah,
So yeah, so the past week in Seattle has felt a lot like I was back in Arizona because we had that heat wave. But
oh yes.
yeah, I love Seattle though. It feels kind of like Seattle is my hometown. So
Oh, okay, very nice, very nice. Okay, so all right. Hey, how did your okay. Hey, how has your sound come together? Are you a multi-instrumentalist? Is it okay? Hey, is it mainly your band backing you up, or how?
yeah.
How do you come about this? That is.
So I grew up listening to a lot of like rock music. Like I love the girl punk bands, and just any like grungy rock was definitely the stuff that I gravitated to. But in terms of like singing, I grew up singing a lot of musical theater. So I think it kind of came together now into this sound where I definitely have a very theatrical side when I'm writing and when I'm arranging music. And I think that comes out, but definitely I want this to be a rock project. I want it to be the type of music that I would have really loved to listen to when I was 13 or 14, listening to my favorite like punk bands and stuff. So I picked up guitar on and off when I was a kid. I did take piano lessons for a little bit. So I learned piano first and foremost, and then I picked up guitar again when I was probably like late teens, early 20s. And that's been probably my biggest love, is I love the guitar more than anything. So that's a huge part of my sound moving forward, is just fuzz pedals and heavy guitars and the crunchiness of that. I love it. But I picked up the theremin in the past, like I want to say
wow.
year and a half. Yeah. And so for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's the synthesizer that has like the silver antenna, and it's like an electromagnetic thing, and you're waving your hands around it to get the sounds. And it's kind of like a gimmicky synthesizer, but I really love it because it's spooky and it just fits the vibe of what I have. So I think that's going to be a part of the sound moving forward too. And just kind of all of these little things that I like, trying to blend them into something that's unique.
Oh wow, yeah, you know, and that's always been the perfect instrument for sci-fi movies, you know.
Right. Yeah, and like I'm figuring out you can warp the tone of it in some pretty cool ways. I mean, it really is kind of just a synthesizer sound, but I like the novelty of it.
Oh yeah, it is fairly cool. One time some years back, I saw the band Devachka opening up for Gogol Bordello, and the singer there was okay. Was using the theremin, and it was like really weird looking. He was okay. He was singing straight on into the mic. Okay, then his right hand off to the side, doing all the waves. Okay, okay, onto
That's
the
so
theremin.
cool.
So it was a weird look, but it was cool. Yeah, it was.
And I gotta say, anyone who masters the theremin, like that is by far the trickiest instrument that I've ever played, because it's not like a piano key where you press a key and it's the
Oh
same
no.
note every time. Like you have to be the exact distance away. If you don't have like a pitch corrector, you have to be the exact distance away to vibrate at that exact tone, or else it's going to be off pitch. So I would
Yeah,
have loved to see that. That sounds amazing.
it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, all right. You know, with the ghoul talk and the horror and the okay. Hey, what's your favorite horror movie? Okay, I gotta ask.
Oh gosh. I really like Hereditary. I like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of like good, fairly modern horror movies that have come out. Like yeah, Midsummer. I don't know if Parasite is considered a horror movie. I really love that movie. I think that kind of like crosses over into the genre a little bit. I like Nosferatu. I like some of the like super classic stuff. I don't know. I just like anything spooky. Only thing I would say I'm not super into is like alien movies, even though I'm into aliens just like in general. I think they're pretty interesting, but not the movies. I don't know why.
All right. Um, okay. Question. I'm just putting it out there. With your theatrical background also, and your love. Okay. Love of horror, and I don't know how your stage shows are going to be. Hey, but any thoughts of doing things similar to Alice Cooper, where it's a really stage show along with the music?
I mean, that's like my dream. Yeah,
uh,
definitely want elaborate sets. I mean, a DIY artist, so it's like, what can I personally
True.
make and put on stage? I'm kind of limited by my own capabilities, but yeah, I love Alice Cooper too. He actually has a big presence in Arizona where I grew up.
Oh yeah.
He has Cooperstown, which is like his restaurant, and so I used to go there a lot as a kid and hope that he would be there. I never got to see him, but yeah, I love the theatrical stage sets. I definitely have a lot of ideas for music videos, and I don't want to say too much about what I'm working on now, because I've learned that if I am too specific, I just jinx myself of being able to do what I'm trying to do. But
Ah,
yeah, a lot of theatrical stuff to come.
very cool. Very cool. Okay. Hey, this is a rather short EP. You okay? Hey, you have only 3 songs. Um, was that always the plan to make it that small? Say.
Initially it was going to be 4 songs, and 2 of the songs actually never even ended up making it. And
Hmm.
then as I was writing it, I wrote 2 more songs which actually were materialized as Sleeper, and so it was just kind of this like bank of songs that I had, and I kept producing all of them and then swapping out in and out which ones I thought were actually good enough to make it. But I do have quite a few songs that are pretty much fully produced that didn't make it to the EP, that I just felt like didn't match the songwriting style that I wanted to do moving forward. So maybe I'll release those as B-sides someday, or like as part of a different project. But yeah, as I produced them and worked with Marshall, it just felt like the 3 that I chose were the 3 that were supposed to be there. And yeah, no regrets looking back.
Very good, very good. And hopefully, hey, we we will see those new ones as well. Are there any plans for you to tour outside Seattle?
Hopefully someday, yeah. I mean, touring is kind of a nightmare right now, especially for DIY bands, just in the sense
Hmm.
of like everyone is trying to get back out there. And I'm still figuring out too what my backing band is going to look like, and who I'm going to be playing with, and whether those people could be able to tour outside. So, I mean, that is a goal of mine. But right now, I feel like I have to focus all of my energy on just continuing to produce more music, so that when I do those tours, I have like a good catalog built up, and it'd probably be easier for me to start booking like touring shows and if I wait a little bit longer. So there will be Seattle shows for sure, and then maybe some like Pacific Northwest shows around that. And then hopefully down the line, I'd love to travel everywhere and play everywhere. It'd be fun.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, you know what? And if you ever get out to the East Coast, specifically South Jersey, Philadelphia area, look us up. You know,
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, you guys would be on my list. I would come visit
that's
you.
that's great. That's great. Okay. All right. You know. Okay. Speaking of tours and some live shows, you know, what was your first concert?
Oh gosh, I want to say it was like Backstreet Boys.
Hmm.
And I think I remember like making a sign for Nick Carter on like a piece of notebook paper and holding it back from like the nosebleeds of the seats and expecting him to see it. Yeah, I don't think he did, but yeah, that was fun. I remember seeing Avril Lavigne really young, and yeah, she was inspiring to me. That was cool.
That's great. Good. Okay. All right. Hey, here's a question that I like to ask most of my guests. Um, I'm, I'm, I'm also having to do with live shows and touring. Um, okay. What would be your dream gig? Is the kind of show or venue or both that would be on your bucket list?
Oh gosh. I'd have to say the Crocodile, which is it's a venue here in Seattle. And when I first visited Seattle, I remember looking up shows at the Crocodile just because it was a venue that I'd always seen my favorite bands tour at. And
Hmm.
I just it was an iconic venue in my head. And that's pretty doable now. I mean, being in Seattle, eventually I could play there. I know people have played there, but yeah, I don't even know if it's necessarily any specific venues or anything beyond that. I mean, that's one that sticks out to me in my head. I never really thought I would have the opportunity to like be in a band or play for people. So for me, it's like any opportunity to do that, any stage is just the coolest thing.
Nice. Hey, I don't think I've ever heard of the Crocodile. Um, um, what kind of place is that? Is it a club? Is it a theater or what?
Yeah, so they just moved because there's a new Crocodile, and with the pandemic and everything. But
Mm.
I had seen some shows there prior to the pandemic, and it's just a cool little club. I just always thought it was like the best name for a venue. I don't know. I like crocodiles. And I'd seen it show up time and time again on like every tour poster that I ever owned, and I don't know. It's just stuck with me
That's
as like
great.
if you're a cool band, you've probably played at the Crocodile at some point in time.
Probably. Okay. All right. Hey, in relating to that, if you could share that stage with or and for either the other way, anyone else, who might that be?
I mean, I think about Kate Nash because like I grew up on her music, just like obsessed with all the Riot Girl music, and then she started as pop and she kind of pivoted to that. And I remember like there was some contest she had where you could win like backstage access or something, and I worked so hard to win this contest, and then at the end of her show, like she let us all dance on stage with her, and it was like the coolest thing to be on stage with her. Yeah, she told us like prior to the show starting, like, feel free to rush the stage at the end and just like come and dance with me on the stage. And I remember thinking that was the coolest thing. And so I would love to share a stage with her again, especially because the band name is like an homage to her. But I mean, there's so many artists that I love right now that are out there. Like I love Mia Folick. I'm thinking specifically of women just that I really admire. Yeah, there's so many names. I love the band Foxing. They're probably my favorite band. Huge fan of their work, and yeah, those would probably be the three.
That's wonderful. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Okay. Okay. How can people find you online?
My handle anywhere is just at Ghoul Talk Band, so people can look that up on Instagram. I'm probably the most active there. And then ghoultalkband.com is the website.
Very good, very good. And all right then. And I want to leave plenty of room for your music as as well here during this hour. My pleasure. Is there anything you would like to plug that's you know, of course you have your EP that is out now. Any shows coming up that's someone out on the West Coast might be listening right now? We do a webcast everywhere.
Yeah. No, I would just say like check out Magician if you want to hear it. I don't know. I mean, it's so cool to me to be played on the radio or like anybody listening at all. So just thanks for listening. And yeah, I have a lot more stuff that I'm working on that I think is definitely the best that I've ever done. So feel free to follow along with that. And I don't know, follow your dreams. What else do I have to say? So that's all.
That all works. All right. Best of luck with everything. Hope to see you in the future. And okay, hey, and you're always okay. I'm always welcome live in our studio. Also, if you ever do, get down here.
Thank you. I'm going to hold you to that. And thank you so much for having me today. I really enjoyed talking to you. My pleasure.
My pleasure. It was fun for me as well, and our listeners will enjoy it, I am sure. All right. And to my best of luck again.